Hey everybody, if you want to close more enterprise opportunities, I want to share with you a case study with my student Samantha, who did exactly that. And when she had been in sales for over a decade, has had a lot of success, but then she went into the enterprise space, selling for a SaaS company and startup. Within 5 months, she closed 10 enterprise opportunities. That's right, completely cold to close. 10 opportunities within 5 months, calling on some of the biggest companies in the world. Keep watching and enjoy. All right, what's going on? Marcus Chan here, and I'm very excited to have my good friend Samantha here, who's a student to our program, who's been absolutely crushing it. Samantha, can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do and who you are?
Yeah, hey everyone. So my name is Samantha Price. I'm a senior account director, very new to the SaaS space. So I came from about 10 years of experience selling services, and I was now entering into this brand new SaaS environment. That's why I was really excited to hear about Marcus's program, because I knew that there was some more to SaaS that I needed to learn about.
I love how you said SaaS like a kind of a sassy way. That was good. That was good. I like that. So, so before and obviously you were successful before, and you're jumping into a new industry.
Yeah.
So for you, what was maybe the challenge you're running into, or where did you want to make sure you got help with, before joining our program?
What I absolutely love about sales, and the reason why I'm in sales, is relationships. I don't even care about the commission check. I just want to connect with people. Like, that's what drives me. That's what gets me up in the morning. And prior to joining the SaaS space, all of my interactions with clients were face-to-face. And it was great. I developed really strong, good relationships with people that I still have to this day. And now I'm entering into this SaaS world where it's all Zoom, like face-to-face interactions aren't as common. So the ability to really build those strong relationships that I was used to doing in the past was like almost eliminated. And I was like, I need to completely reevaluate how I go about approaching sales. And I want to come in and crush it. It's this new company that I was joining. And it was a no-brainer to invest in myself and learn how I could be a much more effective seller.
I love that. And I give you major kudos for even just realizing it, right? Some people are like, well, let me just kind of jump in head first and see what happens. You're like, all right, this is not my first rodeo about learning something new. I better prepare myself.
Yeah, people don't want to talk about their dog for the first 15 minutes on a Zoom call.
No, they don't.
Get to the point.
They don't. Like, hurry up. Like, why are we here? What are we talking about here? So I love that. So, and when you're looking to join programs, why did you choose, our program to begin with specifically?
Yeah, what I really loved about you, Marcus, is you put out all this incredible free content. So I had a chance to really understand what you were all about before I fully invested in you. And I really aligned with all of the free content that you posted. And then I was very intrigued to schedule a one-on-one with you. And when I did, I was super stoked that it was actually you. I didn't know if it was going to be somebody else on your team. So that really impacted me. And you asked really good questions. You really got to understand what my specific needs are. And being in sales, like, you don't really talk about yourself often. So I really appreciated you, asking me the questions and getting to understand what's important in my life. So I think it just shows that you really care about the people that you partner with.
I appreciate that. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's awesome, right? Because what's interesting is like, I can tell you the number of people that say, "Hey, listen, because of how you ran your system on me, that was amazing. Like, I want to do that too." I'm like, so I love you're saying basically the same thing, which is pretty cool, right? So, for you, after you joined, was there anything in particular that was probably the most helpful for you, most effective for you once you started into the program?
I loved how we started off with the goal setting piece and just understanding our day-to-day and our scheduling. That was something I really needed, and it had just helped put me in the right mindset to jumpstart this new path. I really, really appreciated it. And just the organizational content that you provided. We only have so many hours on the day, and we need to be as effective as possible. And to be effective, you need the right tools in place to keep you focused. And I really loved the tools that you provided. And it was just starting a new company. It was such a good way to just start clean, start fresh with my new routine.
You know, I love that. And I think you can appreciate this too. I haven't told the students yet, but I'm actually in process right now mapping out 6.0 version of our program of at least the course piece of it. And it's even more robust on the mindset, the routine, the habit stacking. So you're gonna
Yeah.
love that. What's coming? Don't worry, you'll get access to that too once it comes out. So it's pretty
Hell yeah.
badass.
I
Awesome,
can't
awesome,
wait.
awesome.
Yeah.
So for you, you know, you dove in, you started this new role. About
Mhm.
how long did it take for you to see just any type of, you know, shift in results, mindset, or anything?
Yeah. What's interesting is the SaaS company that I work for, it's a brand new space. So it's not like this software has existed before. So I'm really selling into brand new territory, which is super exciting because there's a lot of momentum behind it. So I don't know if that necessarily impacts the amount of time that it took, but it took about 3 months for me to really start building a healthy pipeline and start closing accounts.
Awesome, awesome. And you know, once you start, and by the way, that's, you know, especially since you're selling to the enterprise space,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty fast.
Is it
just
okay?
enterprise. I remember when you texted me like, "Hey, I think you said like I've closed like 3 like, enterprise deals in like 6 months. Is that good?" I'm like, "These are like Fortune 50 companies. It's really good."
Yeah.
Like some people only close one a year.
Okay.
So, so for you, you know, as you reflect back, what were probably some of your proudest outcomes across the board that you had?
Yeah, this easy for me to answer that question. And this is something that I would have not learned had I taken your training. So I had a call with a Fortune 500 retailer, and all the stakeholders were on the call. So this is like, I only have one shot to make an impression. I better make a damn good one. And because of all the training that I went into that call prepared, ready to go. And I knew all the right, I had all the right questions to ask so that I could really understand what their pain was. What do they need? What's important to them? And it was a great discovery. Like first 30 minutes, we went into this fabulous discovery, really understood what the key drivers were for this customer. Went into the demo, very customized to everything that they just talked about. We summarized what their needs were. It was beautiful. And that was one of the first deals that I closed. And I attributed it back to that initial discovery call
Mm.
and being able to really understand what was important, what were the key drivers to this client.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Right. It's I always think too when you're selling these large opportunities, these Fortune 500 companies, like everyone wants to get in the door, but sometimes once they're actually in the door, they don't really do a good job and they end up losing the opportunity. But if you do it
Mm-hmm.
right, like you did, you're able to run all the way through. They close faster for more, and it's an amazing relationship you get to build with them. So I
Exactly.
love that. So
Yeah.
as you think back to, you know, this is the success you've had, you know, just for yourself with this new company, you know, what are some things you probably saw from, you know, maybe your bosses or you know, peers or even the C-suite at your company that they shared with you that was really cool that you really appreciated?
Yeah, I'm new to the Slack environment. There's a lot of fire emojis, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's one thing that's super cool about Slack, that you get to celebrate wins publicly, and I like that stuff when people are like, hell yeah, good job, you're crushing it. Like that makes me feel good. I'm not gonna lie. So it was really awesome to get to be getting a lot of those messages from the C-suite.
Totally. And I also want to give you major kudos, right? Because what's really, really cool, because I read some of those notes, and it wasn't just like about you just like closing a deal and like on to the next thing. I mean, they really talk about how effective you were in the process of being like a pro, like a complete professional in how you execute everything. So that way, it's not just a new deal; it's really a new partnership between
Yeah,
your company and theirs. And you could see that the CEO saw that they understood that. And to me, that's really big because that separates you from not just being another salesperson, but actually being someone of major value to the company.
yeah, absolutely. It ties back to commission's great. Of course, we're not ever going to be upset about that, but what really drives me is like the value that I can bring to my clients, really helping them and the relationships that I build. And through your training, it put me in a better position to really align more with all those, those three things that are extremely important to me. And that's really what has been a huge asset to me in your training and working with you. Because it's not, and like even beyond trainings and this little nuances that I'm going through to be able to reach out to you and personally connect and have you, provide some advice and mentorship. It's huge, and I'm forever grateful.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that. So, for you, aside from, the work with stuff, which is definitely cool, the results, how has your life changed or been impacted, as a result of being part of the program?
Yeah, that's a kind of a tough question because I've never worked in SaaS nor for a startup. So as far as just like work-life balance, I haven't really like mastered that place yet. But that's something that I'm working on, and I'm actually going to go back into the training and focus on that, because I can see that my mind is very much focused on work right now, but I know I need to bring it back and be more balanced and be present when I am with my wife and my kids. It's so important. And I actually plan on going back into the training and touching on that part more.
Awesome.
As a refresher.
You're gonna, and what's really cool is one of those things where, but I'm building into the next 6.0 version. We're gonna go deeper into habits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because some of these habits I'm gonna talk a lot about is actually they have nothing to do with sales at all. Mm-hmm. But because when you incorporate these properly, it gives you this better harmony in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in a world where we're like 24/7 connected today. It's like, how do we shut it off effectively so we can be there for our spouse, for our kids, if it's for a client, whatever it's going to be, like, how do we be just there?
Yep.
So we can just show up and be the best version, but also be able to not worry when we're not there, and that's important too. It's really, really important too.
Turn the work brain off. It's hard. It's hard.
Absolutely. Yeah. Build those habits in. So I love that. Mm-hmm. So, for you, where do you think you would be right now if you hadn't taken action and joined the program?
Yeah, where would I be if I hadn't taken action? I don't think that I would be near as successful as I am right now, near as confident in my ability to close. Really, those are the two, the two that stick out to me is not as confident and not closing as many deals as I would be.
Yeah. And as you and I both know, those go hand in hand usually, right? Like if you don't have that confidence, you have that commission breath, they smell it on you. And then they especially with the big opportunity, they don't even call you back. They're just like, that's what happens. So exactly. I appreciate that. So if there was someone that was watching that was on the fence about, join the program, working with us, what would you tell them?
Yeah. A lot in life is about, okay, I'm not like jolting with an answer because this is something that's really important. So I'm going to sit with this for a second. So what I really value in your program is that it puts your mind in the right space. You're not in a reactive mindset. What do I do? You have a clear structure and process in place to follow. And I think most of us can agree how valuable that is. Going back to, we only have so many hours in a day. How are we going to be the most effective with that time? And that's what your program does, is it makes you extremely effective in the time that you do have to become successful. And I recommend that you join the program. Awesome.
I love that. Well, I appreciate you. I love all your success. I love who you're becoming as a result of it. Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I think what I really love is that the training doesn't ever go away. Like a great example where you're talking about, how's the work-life balance been? It's something where I intuitively know I need to revisit. And I love that the program is still going to be there for me. It's something that I have to always go back to, refine, revisit, so that when I do notice, okay, I think I'm slipping in this area, I can go back to this awesome program and it can support me and get me back to where I need to be.
I love that. Well, I appreciate you. Congrats on our success. And thank you so much for being on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marcus, for having me. And yeah, just really appreciate you, homie. I'm glad you're here and you exist and that you're uplifting the sales community that exists out there.
Awesome. Thank you. If you enjoyed this interview and you are interested in results just like Samantha did, when she has that bulletproof confidence that she now has a system to get replicatable results consistently every single month, every single quarter, make sure to go click the button on this page anywhere you see it and book a time with my team. See if we can help you do the exact same as well. Thank you so much for watching.